It's Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician, making another video for you out of Boise, Idaho. Today we are going to be starting work on a 2000 Dodge Durango 4.7 liter. I am going to be changing the valve cover gaskets and the front main seal. And so that's the seal that sits behind the harmonic balancer. So we've got quite a bit of work cut out for us. Not too big of a deal. There is a lot, as you can see, that's going to have to come out and or be just simply disconnected in order to get down to those valve covers. You can see that they're kind of buried down in there. So that's the job I'm going to start with. These videos, since this is probably going to take better part of a day to complete, will be broken down into 15 to 30 minute videos for you guys, and then I'll put it together as a series and playlist and all that other stuff. So the first thing we are going to start with, though, is the valve cover gaskets. So right off the bat, as I've explained before, I've already disconnected the battery. I do that anytime I'm working under the hood, disconnecting electrical connector. I can't talk, folks. Disconnecting electrical connectors, electronic connectors, other stuff like that. So batteries disconnected first. Then some of the first things I'm going to do is make room to work, which means that air filter, the ductwork for it and all that, and the top of the housing, that's going to be removed and come out of the way. We're going to want to look at getting all of these wires and hoses out of the way. So on this beautiful Saturday morning, I'm just going to take my time and start disconnecting everything. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get you guys set up so you can see, have a good view of everything that's going on. And we are going to get to work. So I'm going to try a different kind of filming method. You know, I got my camera here. And so I'm just going to get to work, talk to you guys as I'm working, pause it at certain points and stuff. So that way you don't have to like suffer through just watching boring old work and stuff like that. So right now I'm going to go ahead and pause it. I'm going to go get some tools. What I'm going to be getting are going to be 10 millimeter sockets, ratchets, wrenches, all that other good stuff. 8 millimeter, probably from 8 millimeter to 10 millimeter, 11, 12, 13, and 14 millimeter sockets, wrenches, and ratchets. I'm also going to go and get my mechanics picks so I can loosen up certain hoses and all that other stuff, pliers, stuff like that. All right, so my first step, I'm going to work on getting our air filter and housing and ductwork, all that out of the way. I like to use a pry bar on these clips here because I like to save my fingers. Sometimes they can be on there pretty tough. So alright, we got a hose here. And then we're just going to lift that up and out. And I've already loosened it up here, an 8 millimeter socket with my trusty electric wrench. Got that loosened up. We'll set that aside. I need to go find a place that I can set parts at. So again, I shall be right back. Okay, next we're going to want to get this part off here. You're going to have a 10 millimeter bolt on this side, and then you're going to have one hidden over here on this side. It's going to be underneath, and you won't be able to see it until you removed your ductwork and stuff. So there you go, 10 millimeter. And we're just going to slowly kind of just work this off and out. Again, we don't want to damage anything, so take your time. I'm real big on teaching, take your time. Don't ever force anything. And there we go. And trust me, I've learned that if you take your time now, you actually help yourself out when it comes to speed and stuff like that, because taking your time means that you're going to get it done right. You're going to get it done right the first time, and you're not going to have to go back and redo a bunch of stuff. So taking your time actually, so slowing down now actually helps you to speed up later. All right, now as you can see, we've got it pretty opened up in here, and we've got a good idea of what we're going to have to remove to get in here. This valve cover over here is going to be the hardest to get to. And oh, hey, look at that. That wasn't even connected in there correctly. That's just not even in there over there. Look at that. Or it's broken, actually. I actually think that's broken, and it's just been sitting down in there. So that's something that I'll flag, and I'll let the owner know that, hey, some of this stuff is broken and busted, and we'll figure out if they want to change it out while I'm in here. Let's check this other side over here. Nope, we're not busted over there. So, okay. So, you know, again, make a note of that. We're going to want to get these heater hoses. These look like, yep, these are heater hoses. These are going to need to be, these are going to have to come off and get out of the way so we can get this valve cover off. And it looks like they're going to disconnect down here. So we'll need to get rid of all this. I honestly think it may be best, because as you can see here, we've got all this connected. So I'm trying to make a decision. Do we remove the throttle body and just lay it over? And actually, I think we'll leave the throttle body there, and we'll just start disconnecting all of these electrical connectors and getting those out and whatnot. And so having a pick and a screwdriver or some type of prying device. See, hopefully you can see that my arms aren't in the way. But see, you see how I just kind of press that in and then use this to push that off. I did that so I can make sure that we're not going to break anything. Some of this stuff is easy to break. It's old, it's brittle. It's been stuck together forever. There we go. All right, there we go there. So now we're just gonna kind of move that out of the way. I'm gonna use our pick here. See if we can't get in there and work that out. There we go. Look at that. Didn't even tear it or rip it or anything like that. And that's the whole goal. Come on now. There we go. That's off. Now, just a little tip and trick. If you want to, you can make a mental note. I make mental notes. I take mental pictures of where everything connects to. But it might be wise just to go ahead and have your camera ready while you're doing this job and just start taking pictures of everything that you see. And then that way, when you go to put everything back together, you can just reference your pictures and you'll know which connectors go where. We got all these coil connectors here that are going to need to come off. We got 3 on this side and then 3 on the other side. I'm going to come back to that one. Okay. Probably not going to Won't hurt to go ahead and get that unclipped, so we can get that out of the way. And what I'll do more than likely is, like I said, I'm just gonna unclip it from here. And then I'm just gonna take this hose that you see, and I'm just gonna disconnect it down here. I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna lay it over there. I'll probably have to remove the camera to do that. I want to get this guy out of the way here pretty soon too. So let's just kind of see what we got going on here. All right, so we'll have to get that. We'll have to get back down in here and get that out of the way. So I will be right back. Okay, so this is basically part of the PVC system, okay? And we got it loose over here. Now this side, they look the same, okay? The only difference is, and really this side should have just come out like that, but as you saw in the video, it was already loose. And you can see where it's been broken. It's been like that for a while. There's some of the threads on it. So on the passenger side, it broke off. On the driver's side, it came apart like it's supposed to. So that's something, like I said, I'll flag and look at, but we've got this out of the way now. So what we want to do is we want to start figuring out how we can work, okay? And so like a typewriter, I'm going to work from right to left. I mean, that's not like a typewriter, but you know how a typewriter goes one direction and then stops and then resets, goes one direction, stops, resets, okay? That's what we're gonna do. I'm going to work from driver's side to passenger side. So I'm gonna work from right to left, stop, and then come back. So I'll start here, as you can see, disconnecting all the electrical connections that I can see and find that are gonna be in my way, work my way over here, stop, and then come back, and then do another sweep. So, you know, all this is gonna have to be moved. So you're gonna wanna disconnect your alternator, all right? And that looks like that's gonna be like a, probably, I'm gonna say just by glancing at it, I'm gonna say that's a 14. So I'm gonna go grab a 14 millimeter socket. Let's see if I'm correct. Okay, so looks like a 14 to me, just at first glance. Oh, it's not. It's one off. Close but no cigar. It's going to be a 13 millimeter there for your alternator connection. That's your battery connection, basically. All right, now we can take this, okay, and just set it aside, set it out of the way. Make a mental note of where you set it so you're not running around looking for your stuff there. Okay. And we can even reach in here and start disconnecting some of these fuel injector connectors. Now you need to be very careful with fuel injector connectors, especially on an older vehicle like this. They tend to want to break on you. And you're just going to take your time, pull them off. Okay, that one wants to be a little bit more stubborn. So instead of just, trying to jerk it off, I'll get in there with the mechanics pick and try to get that off nicely. All right, let's see. We're going to want to get our brake booster, our vacuum line out of the way. So I just kind of disconnected it from the braking system there. And I'm going to find a nice little home to tuck it in and out of the way right here. That'll keep that out of the way. I really need to get this heater hose out of the way now. So in order to do that, I want to come down here. Okay, so we want to go down in here and we want to disconnect the heater hoses. I do have to get down in here anyways because, again, we're doing valve cover gaskets and the front main seal that sits behind the harmonic balancer. So I think just to go ahead and open things up, I'm going to go ahead and remove my coolant reservoir. So I'm going to stop production on the top here. I'm going to get my coolant reservoir out of the way. That's going to give me all the room I need to get in and get these heater hoses disconnected so I can move those out of the way also. All right, now again, I want to get the heater hoses out of the way because they come across both valve covers. The heater hoses, they're just, bottom line, they're in the way. Since I am going to be working on the front of this engine, I am going to go ahead and remove my coolant reservoir, basically, and that's going to give me the room I need and want to get down inside of here and get these heater hoses disconnected and all that other good stuff. So I am draining the coolant. And if you're working on the same car, if you're working on a 2000 Dodge Durango, the 4.7, and you need to move those heater hoses or mess with anything concerning the coolant, your drain is going to be on the driver's side, right behind the bumper. You should have enough room to get a bucket underneath there. Just open it up and let it drain out. Okay, so working over on the driver's side. Now remember, our goal is to get the reservoir out. I did go ahead and remove the complete housing unit for the air filter. That's because we need to get down inside of this area and we need to get things disconnected, and there's going to be a 10 millimeter bolt down inside of here that you're going to need to get to. And bottom line is, it'll just be 100 times easier to get down into this area and work without that housing unit there. So now I'm disconnecting my electrical connections. And I've got one that is old and stubborn. I'm gonna go get the pick. Come on, buddy. There we go. So again, it's just old, had some dirt in there and stuff, and just didn't want to come out very, very easily. I'm just gonna leave that connected for now. You're gonna have some hoses down in here that you're gonna need to disconnect, but for right now, I'm gonna get my bracket bolt out. Okay. And to retrieve that bolt, you're going to have to kind of just get down in there, but there you go. So that's what that bolt head's going to look like. It's a 10 millimeter bolt. You're going to want an extension to get down in there. That is one side. Now the second side is going to be over here on the driver's side, and it's going to be down underneath your main radiator hose here, your upper radiator hose. So honestly, I think what I'm going to do for this one is, it looks like you can go straight in down through here to get to that 10 millimeter bolt, and actually, yeah, so you have a choice. You can remove the battery and get that out of your way so you can work, or You can fight with it. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and remove the battery. Okay, so I'm gonna get the battery out of my way. That way I don't have to, come on. Well, that just wants to be stubborn. Alright, let's see if we can get this battery out now. Nope, doesn't look like it. Alright, there we go. Just wanted to be kind of stubborn there for us. Alright, now I should be able to lift the battery out. And now I should have all the room I need and want to get down inside of here. It's going to be right there. There you have it. Okay, there's your 10 millimeter there. Now we can take our reservoir and lift it up and out. So now it's time to go ahead and get all the hoses that you can find disconnected. And remember, there's going to be some hoses over on this side. This is where your sensors and pumps are for your washer fluid. Okay. I'm just going to take this and lift that up and out. Now we have a big space that we can start working in. Okay, starting with our heater hoses right there. So I'm going to get those disconnected and out of the way. So doing this was both in preparation for my valve cover gasket job and my front main seal job. If I was just doing the valve cover gaskets, I may not opt to pull that shroud or that reservoir. I may just go ahead and just fight with these heater hoses to remove them. But since that had to come out of the way for another job anyways, that is what I have done. All right, so I'm going to show you where I'm at now after kind of fighting some things. So I've got my battery removed. I've got my air filter housing and all that other stuff removed, okay? I have begun to get my electrical connections out of the way, okay? And all of my rubber hosing, vacuum lines, heater hoses, all of that stuff I'm working on getting out of the way. I've removed the fan shroud on this particular model. The fan shroud also doubled as the coolant and washer reservoir, so I've got that removed. And I've got my water pump, my fan clutch removed. I've got the electrical fan removed out of the way, and now I'm working on getting the rest of my covers and all that out of the way. So the first start of this job, the first steps of this job is just getting things disconnected and removed out of the way so you can work. And so remember, we're working kind of like a typewriter style. We're going from right to left and then back again, and we're just getting everything that we can find that needs to be disconnected and moved out of the way, completely out of the way. So So there you go, folks. You're going to want 10 millimeter, 12, 13, 14, and 15 millimeters. And when you're doing a project like this, just kind of first of all, take your time. Don't get into a rush. Don't get stressed. If you find yourself getting stressed out, take a break, go smoke a cigarette, drink a cup of coffee, glass of water, have some lunch, cool off. This isn't a matter of a race. We want to make sure we get it right and do it right the first time. So take your time. And then also it pays and helps to be thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. Look at stuff and try to ask yourself, is this going to end up being in the way when I get to where I need to get to go ahead and remove my valve covers, or to go ahead and remove my harmonic balancer? Anytime you're working on a car, it pays off to be able to think, 2 or 3 steps ahead. So this is going to be phase 1, and phase 1 is just getting everything disconnected that you can find over the top in front of the engine. Now remember, I'm doing valve covers and replacing a front main seal, so that's why I've got the front of this engine opened up. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video since we're pushing the 30-minute mark. There will be a part 2. Part 2 will show removal of the valve covers and anything else that needs to get out of the way. If you're doing this project on your own Dodge, shoot me any questions you might have in the comments. Let's trade emails. Let's trade phone numbers. I love helping you guys out. Don't be afraid to do such a job. Be looking for part 2 to come very soon, as well as part 3 and possibly a part 4. I'm doing this job over the weekend, and so I should have it done here in the next day or 2. So, all right, folks. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end this one and make a second video. Thanks for coming out and watching my videos. Thanks for supporting me. I hope you learned something. I hope it helps you out. This is Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician, signing off.